Yes.
Okay, ladies, you ready? Yes. I'm going to call the meeting to order. Please rise to the pledge. Secretary, please call the roll.
Hemlock,
Yes.
Plata,
Yes.
Dunlap,
Here.
Casper, Lloyd, here, Barry.
Here.
Here. 3.1, review of budget and recommendation for adoption. We do have a presentation. If everybody can see, then we can stay. Perfect.
All right, so this is the official budget hearing, which we're required by law to do before the adoption of the official budget. As you recall, last month, we looked at the preliminary budget. So tonight, I'm going to do a more abbreviated version of what we presented last month, kind of focusing on what has changed from last month, and then our budget overall. So here's the big picture, which includes all of our funds. We're starting the year with 46.5 million in beginning fund balance. We have revenues over expenditures of 423,000, which is a small amount in the grand scheme of things. Ending fund balance of 46.9 million, which is very healthy. As a district, our goal is to have our fund balances be about 85% of our total revenues, and that number is more like 92%. So our fund balances are nice and healthy. And last month in the preliminary budget, the bottom line number was actually a deficit. So some things have changed for the better, which I'll get to. So here are the revenue changes. It appears that we're going to get the property tax relief grant for a fourth consecutive year, which we have to be getting close to getting the end of these, which I've said that every year for 4 years in a row. But it's an additional $1.4 million in revenue coming in. But that's offset a little bit because we do have to abate for 2 years. I had some abatement in there, figuring we were going to start abating additional when our requirements dropped off, but now that we're getting the grant, we're required to abate. So it's more revenue minus some abatement, but the net is that it's $854,000 more dollars than what we showed last month in the preliminary budget. That's the revenue side, and then a summary of our total revenue, and you can see that the majority is local revenue, but that number has changed over the past 5 years because of these property tax relief grants. Local revenue used to be 85%, just as recently as 5 years ago, and state revenue used to be 10%. So those numbers are switching, which I think is a good thing. It's less burden on the local and more to the state. The federal has stayed about the same. So a total of $50 million in projected revenue for the upcoming year. And then here's how it changed from last year. And 2 of them went up substantially. We talked about this in the preliminary budget. The local revenue is up because of interest rates. As our investments mature at lower interest rates, they're being replaced with higher investments. And then also, the refunds that we had been paying in property taxes from old appeals have dropped substantially, so that's an increase in revenue. So the local revenue is up quite a bit. And then on the state side, it's those property tax relief grants that we keep getting that has increased our state revenue. And then on the federal side, the ESSER grants have gone away, so it's a reduction in federal revenue. But you put that all together and our total revenue is up a quite substantial 3.9 million compared to last year. So that's the revenue side. On the expense side, there were a few changes, and they were also in a good direction. Benefits are down compared to what we had in the preliminary budget. Typically, at that point, we have a bunch of new hires, and we don't know what benefit elections they have chosen at that point. So we just estimate high, and then as they choose single over family or no health insurance, things like that. As we know the true numbers, we correct them for the final budget. So benefit costs actually went down from our initial estimate, and then a couple of other very minor changes. But the total change from the preliminary budget is our expenses went down. So our revenues went up, our expenses went down, and from the preliminary budget to the final budget, we went from a deficit to a surplus. A lot of numbers here, but this is just where we spend our money. Most of it is in salaries and benefits, about 70% of our total budget, and then everything else is spread around. And $50 million in expenses as well. And here's how the numbers all changed from last year. Salaries are up, that's something like 2.5%. The raises were higher than that, but with the turnover in staff, you have higher paid employees retiring, replaced with lower. And then everything else is kind of right in line with inflation. So that's our $50 million budget. It's up 1.7 million from last year, which is about 3.5%. And so ending where I started, kind of with the summary of all of our funds, $46.5 million beginning balance, a small surplus, and $46.9 million ending balance. So the district is in strong financial shape. So later in the meeting, we'll be asking for approval of the district budget.
Thank you. 3.2, discussion from the board. No? Okay. 3.3, do we have any public comment on the budget? Seeing none, can I have a motion to adjourn the budget hearing, please?
I move to adjourn the budget hearing.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
We have adjourned the budget hearing. I'm now going to open the regular meeting. We're going to call to order. We do not have to say the pledge again. We do need a second roll call, though, please.
Hemlock,
Here.
Schlada,
Here.
Dunlop,
Here.
Casper, Lloyd, here, Barry.
Here.
Nunza.
Here. 3.1, superintendent's report.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Kruse. Thank you, Principal Hartnett and the Kruse staff for hosting the board meeting tonight. Thank you to the Kruse PTO for inviting the board and I to help with the ice cream social. It's always a fun September event. Curriculum night coming up. Elementary schools will have their curriculum nights on Thursday, September 12th. That's this Thursday. And Central will have theirs on Thursday, September 19th. That's a week from this Thursday. Both of those, all 5 of those, will begin at 6 p.m. Wendy, you want to tell us about Institute Day?
Sure. Excited to share with you that at our recent September Institute Day, there were over 12 morning and 10 afternoon training or collaborative sessions offered that aimed at improving student learning and our outcomes. Teachers from across the district worked together and with their teams or department to kind of review their successes from the past and do some future improvement planning as well. All of our teams participated in the Illinois Comprehensive Literacy Plan training and explored some of its evidence-based instructional strategies. While doing so, teachers had a chance to reflect on their practices, but as well, they were able to take away one strategy to try and to come back in our November Institute and share, what's working, what's not. And as I look around this room, along with other committee members, a big part of that success happens to be with many leaders and teachers in this room that helped prop and lead those sessions. So thank you very much from my heart and the hard work that you put in. And additionally, just want to share that there were 30 participants from Central Middle School that attended the SIOP training, which is a training that really enables and gives good strategies for helping our ELL learners and our second language learners. So we're looking forward to the next institute. We're going to continue focusing on curriculum improvements and looking at our evidence-based practices. So great day it was. Thank you.
Thanks, Wendy. Kelly, you want to talk about pre-K screening coming up?
Sure. We have a preschool screening coming up on September 19th. Part of what we are required to do as far as our child find process is to offer preschool screenings throughout the year through the district. It is part of us being a preschool for all district to identify students that may be at risk with developmental delays or environmental factors that weigh into being at risk for delays in school, as well as child fine for special education. So we have one of those coming up in September. And then today, actually, we decided to add an additional one in October. So we will be hosting that. We host them at the Ad Center. It's usually a very busy day. We take turns in having our preschool staff and our related service staff and our bilingual ESL staff hosting and helping with those screenings. So we always thank our buildings for allowing them to be released to come in and help with those screenings.
School improvement planning is underway. All 5 buildings are with their school improvement plan teams, writing goals for this year, some ambitious goals. I've got meetings set up with each of the 5 principals during the month of September to get a sense of where they're going. In 146, we make sure that our school improvement plans are practical and actually pointed at board goals, and also with the intent of actually improving the condition of the school and student learning for kids, and not a matter of filling out the form for state compliance, et cetera. Of course, we are compliant, but I love that our buildings actually focus on making their buildings better in the school improvement plan. So more on that as those plans are finalized. Jay Money, I want to throw to you for transportation and for food service.
Yes, transportation has started, I think, as well as it has in the past several years. We finally, I think maybe for the first time since COVID, we have no doubled up routes, or meaning they run a route, then they have to run it again because they're short drivers. And I believe all of our routes also have their own permanent drivers assigned, no subs, no mechanics from their bus barn because they couldn't fill all their drivers. So that's the good news. The bad news is we do have a few routes that are still late every day, mostly at Central, and I believe it's because those buses are running Orland routes first and then coming to run ours. So we're on the bus company about getting this fixed. It's not really acceptable to us, but for the most part, things are going very well with transportation. Food service, also, after 12 years of being with Quest, we now have a new food service company, Whitson's Culinary Group, and there's been the usual first couple of weeks hiccup, late deliveries and things like that as they're getting things figured out, but I'm hearing that the food is better. That's some of the comments that I'm hearing. Hopefully that's accurate. But we're happy with them so far. I've found them to be very responsive when there are issues, so that's a good thing. And they are going to be starting up student taste test committees and things like that. So I think they're going to be much more involved on the day-to-day, and they are very interested in making sure that the students are happy. So I'm pleased with that.
Exciting new idea, you know, kind of sign of the times. Central is starting a esports team. There's a number of schools in our SWIC conference that already have teams, and they're looking for more teams to compete with. We've already had a video game club that is one of our more popular clubs, and so Central's interested in turning that into a competitive sport. And we're doing the preliminary work to make that happen right now, and then I'm going to be coming Eileen's way because we're going to need a coach's stipend, so we'll need a little MOU for that. But there's a lot of excitement among students and sponsors, potential coaches with the staff. So more to come about Central's Twister esports team. Community ESL program, Kelly?
Yes, we are pleased that we're continuing our partnership with Governor State. This year, we are going to have not one but two, or not one or two, but 3 different levels of adult ESL programming, which is incredible. This is open to any member of our community, not even if you don't have students that attend school in District 146, just any community member that wants to be involved in adult ESL programs. They can register September 18th or the 24th at the Ad Center. You take a placement test, they'll place you in one of those level 1, 2, or 3 cohorts. And then those classes run September 30th through December 17th. The first session, and then the second session goes February 3rd through the 29th of April. We offer each participant a Chromebook and a headset. It's all done virtually. The awesome thing is that we've had people graduate from this program, and then they are able to attend and get credit through Governor State and go on, and we've had people get associate's degrees, headed into getting even bachelor's degrees. We've also had people that have gone through our program and have applied and become paraprofessionals in our district as well. So this is a really incredible program, and we have other districts that have contacted Brooke and have really tried to get their program up to speed with what we're doing. So every year it gets bigger and better, and we're very proud of this program. So we're excited to start it again.
Matt, you want to talk about LED conversion?
Thank you very much. ComEd continues to offer energy-efficient grants to replace lighting. So as you're aware, earlier this year, we did Fulton's parking lot, replaced the lighting with LED lights. Kruse already has LED lights in the parking lot along with FIRC. So this year, actually in the next month or so, we're going to do Central. The original project was estimated to be about $19,000, and we're going to get $6,600 back. So the overall project to replace all of the parking lot lights that are in the parking lots and on the back of the school with new LED lights will be $12,974. We also had an opportunity to relight the warehouse that used to have 72 8-foot T8 bulb fixtures, and we installed 36 new LED high bay fixtures, and it cost a grand total of $511 for that project. So we're excited about the savings and the increased safety and brightness of our parking lots.
Matt always keeps his eyes open for those kinds of opportunities that'll save us money in the long run and provide a better environment. Thanks, Matt. Employee wellness screening and flu shot opportunities coming up. The dates are September 24th, 25th, and 26th. They're at 3 different locations throughout the school district. And it's an opportunity for employees that participate in our pedometer program to earn health miles, and more importantly, to early identify health concerns when they're more treatable. So this is a great thing that we do, and Shar and the business office work hard to make it happen, and then the nurses help us hype it, and it's a great partnership overall. That's September 24th, 5th, and 6th, and if you'd like more information, let me know, and I'll send you the locations and times. Congratulations to Kayla Kendall and family. Daughter Adeline was born in July. We wish them all the best. Kayla is a 3rd grade teacher at Kruse. Congratulations to Iggy Rojas and family. Daughter Camille Grace was born on August 18th. Everyone's doing great. Iggy's a PE teacher here at Kruse. Congratulations to Monica Thomas and family on the birth of their baby girl, Aubrey Jane. She was born on August 29th, 7 pounds, 10 ounces, 20 inches long. Everyone's doing great. Monica is a 1st grade teacher here at Kruse. Lots of Kruse babies. And condolences tonight for Velma Hernandez. Bernice Rodriguez's sister, Velma, passed away. Velma was not only sister to Bernice Rodriguez, who's a custodian at Central, but aunt to Amanda Minyard, who's also a custodian at Central, and to Rosa Ruiz, who's a custodian at Fulton. Services were held last week, and our thoughts are with the family, and that's all I have for the superintendent's report.
Thank you. 4.1, union reports.
Everybody's off and running. Big start to the year. Excited students, enthusiastic staff, trying to get in routines. The elementary buildings have been map testing last week and this week, but we're trying to throw some fun into that as well. We have had a lot of activities at the different buildings. As Dr. Stavic mentioned, we've got curriculum night coming up on Thursday. We had open house at the beginning, as you know, so we had a chance to meet families, and we'll go in deeper into the curriculum and be able to answer more questions and things like that with the parents joining us on Thursday night. Kruse is celebrating the end of map testing with a dancing drums assembly. Oh, sorry, Fulton is doing the dancing drums assembly. Kruse had the ice cream social tonight. Memorial had a grandparents' night last week where we did bingo, photos, and prizes and things like that. The middle school hasn't had any big activities. They're very proud of their softball team. They're off to a really good start. The kids are really enthusiastic this year, kind of like nothing before, following their success last year. Ferric has had their first Hive activity, so all the buildings have had some start-of-year events to take place, and the kids are just kind of getting used to their new spaces and their new teachers and all the activities, so it's been a great start to the year.
Carol Lyons. I want to introduce the new vice president for our union. This is Megan Harris. She's a Memorial Pre-K para. We're off to a good start too. We're getting more and more kids in. We're needing more paras. So if you know anybody who wants to be a para, come work with us. It's fun. So nothing else. That's great. Thanks, Megan.
5.1, citizens may address the board at this time. Seeing none, can I have a motion for the consent agenda, please?
I move that the Board of Education approves the consent agenda items. 6.1, approval of minutes. 6.2, approval of closed session minutes. 6.3, approval of destruction of closed session tapes. 6.4, approval of financial items, and 6.5, approval of personnel items as presented.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there discussion? Secretary, please call the roll.
Hemmernick,
Yes.
Shalata,
Yes.
Dunlap,
Yes.
Lloyd, yes. Barry.
Yes.
Nenza.
Yes. 6.6, approval of budget for fiscal year 25.
I move that the Board of Education adopt the fiscal year 2020, what? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, you're good. Go.
Oh.
You got it.
Year 2025 budget as presented at the budget hearing.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Secretary, call the roll, please.
Hemmernick,
Yes.
Shalata,
Yes.
Dunlap,
Yes.
Lloyd, yes. Barry.
Yes. 6.7, approval of intergovernmental agreement with Tinley Park.
Yes, if you remember, we reviewed the intergovernmental agreement last week at the Committee of the Whole meeting. In summary, it is really just updating the agreement that has been in place with the Tinley Park Police for quite some time. We included some of the new policies from ISB, mostly the updated threat assessment policies and the rapid access protocols are the most up-to-date policies with ISB. Once we get your approval of those will be in place with the Tinley Park Police.
Is there a motion?
I move that the Board of Education approve the intergovernmental agreement with Tinley Park as presented.
Is there a second? Second. Any discussion? Secretary, please call the roll.
Hemmernick,
Yes.
Shalata,
Yes.
Dunlap,
Yes.
Lloyd, yes. Barry.
Yes.
Nenza.
Yes. 7.1, can I have a motion for closed session, please?
Move the Board of Education goes into closed session to discuss a personnel matter.
Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion. Secretary, call the roll.
Hemmernick,
Yes.
Shalata,
Yes.
Dunlap,
Yes.
Lloyd, yes. Barry.
Yes.
Nenza.
Yes, there is potential for action after closed.
Oh, my God.
I just rubbed my arm. Make it a brace.
Okay, we are on 8.1, notice of remedial warning, tenured teacher. Is there a motion?
I move the Board of Education approve the resolution authorizing the issuance of a notice of remedial warning to Heather Noy.
Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion. Secretary, please call the roll.
Kaepernick,
Yes.
Shalata,
Yes.
Dunlap,
Yes.
Lloyd, yes. Barry.
Yes.
Nenza.
Yes. Is there a motion to adjourn?
I move to adjourn.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you, everyone.